This program airs statewide on California Public Television and is a California's Gold classic. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association.
Hi, I'm Huell, and right now we're in the tiny little community of Bayliss, which is near the small town of Willows in Glenn County up in Northern California. Now this is beautiful country, but we're not here to do a story about geography. We're here to do a story about a building. In fact, this entire program is about buildings. Now what we're going to do is visit 3 different buildings in 3 different communities of our state. Each one of these buildings very much loved, very much a part of each community. Our first stop is right over there. And as always, you're invited to come along with us on this adventure as we continue our search for California's gold.
California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the sun, each morning at dawning, birdies sing and everything a sun-kissed miss says, don't be late, that's why I can hardly wait. Open up that golden gate, California, here I come.
You can find Bayliss in very small print on some highway maps. It's located right in the middle of a rich agricultural area. In fact, literally right out in the middle of a lot of big fields. And this is it. A few houses, some barns and sheds, some horses and cows. And right on the corner, almost hidden among some big shade trees, is this tiny community's pride and joy. A little building that's been the center of the community for 75 years now. Bayliss was the first rural community in the United States to get funds from the Carnegie Foundation. And when they opened up their Carnegie Library, it was quite an event. Now, 75 years later, this little branch library is probably the only functioning Carnegie Library left that is truly rural. There's no town with it. Now, I've been invited to visit this little library by Linda Peele, the Bayliss Branch Supervisor. In fact, Linda wrote me a letter telling me about a very special event at the library that I just had to attend. It took place on a Saturday morning and involved lots of the local citizens. It was a beehive of activity, people all over the place, inside and outside, washing and waxing, dusting and scraping, cleaning and scrubbing. Welcome to the annual Paint-Up Fix-Up Day at the Bayliss Branch Library, a day when the people who use the library volunteer their time to keep it in shape.
A couple of years ago, there was a move to shut this branch down. The people out here rose up against it. They banded together, and they even volunteered to staff the place by themselves. We had 2 ladies that they're in the building, they're working, that basically kept this library going by themselves. And we've now been able to put a staff person out here. We've got it back in branch status again.
So this place almost was gone.
It almost wasn't. No, the people out here fought for it, and they fought hard.
Now you are cleaning the furniture.
Yes, I'm giving these oak chairs scrubbing with Murphy soap, oil soap.
Now these were the original chairs, weren't they?
Yes, they've been here all the time, all these little chairs.
So these have been here for 70, 75, 80 years.
As far as I know.
Well, how are they holding up?
Great.
I mean, they're...
This one has a crack, but that's about the first one I've noticed that has a bad crack.
So you're cleaning the chairs and all the tables
all
too.
The tables.
Well, you've got a lot of work ahead of you.
I have.
But you're smiling.
Oh, I'm having fun.
Now this is a first. I did not expect to see this.
This is one of our more unusual residents lives in that mouse hole.
So what we're doing is we're filling up a mouse hole in the library.
Yes, Milo scraping down to the sheetrock and using sheetrock taping compound and a little patch to patch over one of our many resident mouse holes.
Now, have you seen the mouse come out of that hole?
I have personally encountered the mouse, and the mouse was not afraid of me. We had a staring contest. I stared at the mouse stared at me, but I went away.
Well, now look, if you
right
plaster that mouse hole over, how's he going to get out?
Hopefully he'll go to the outside through one of the many holes in the outside wall and stay there.
Now, how are we holding up over here?
Oh, just fine. Working.
Now, have you found anything that you didn't expect to find here today?
Lots of dirt, but I expected to find that.
But you can handle it, can't you?
Oh, we can handle it. We really needed to do this.
Yeah.
So we love our library, and that's why we're down here.
Now, do you use the library?
Very much.
Really?
Yes. It's open 4 hours a week, and I come almost every week.
Really?
Yes.
Checking out books?
Oh, checking out books and magazines, and it's too far to go to town and too inconvenient to get them back, so I just come here.
So this library really means something to this community of Bayliss.
Yes, it does. We would hate to lose it.
How long did you volunteer to keep this thing open?
3 years. Virginia and I were here for 3 years.
So you all single-handedly kept this place open for 3 years?
2 of us.
Well, wasn't that a lot of work?
Yes, but we did it
Why?
just so that we would have a library, so our library wouldn't close. We I guess we're stubborn. We didn't want them to take our library away from us, and so we just, if you can't pay to keep it open, we'll do it ourselves.
For free?
And for free, so we did it. It worked. They've taken notice now, and they're helping us. They've provided a librarian for us. Everything is just fine right now.
Now, you are the head honcho around here.
I am the branch supervisor of the Bayliss Branch Library.
And what is that like for you? I know already it's a labor of love for you.
Yes, it is. It's like a trip back in time. When I come here every Tuesday, it's like going back 85 years. The inside of the building is just the way it used to be, except it'll be cleaner now.
And what about the people who use the library?
The people who use the library, a lot of them are old-timers, and they've been here, they've grown up here, and they used to have some of the school classes here in the Bayliss Library. Some of them went to school, and this was their classroom. It brings back old memories for people.
Do the kids use it too?
There are a lot of children who use the library here. They're children of people who have grown up here, so their parents bring the children to the same library where they came as children.
Why is this place important?
It's important because it's the only rural library in the country that's left, the rural Carnegie buildings.
Really?
The only one left, yes. That's a library without a town. It's the only library without a town, a Carnegie building that is left in the country. And it's important historically and also for the love of reading. People out in the country still love to read. There are many people around here who don't have television sets. They're in the Mennonite community. They don't believe in television. And they come here to the library and the kids read. They don't know anything about the television programs.
So that's why old Andrew Carnegie is smiling down at us right now.
Absolutely.
His library is still working.
It's flourishing after all these years, and it's still, the people still love to read, and they still come here and take out books.
So the good people of Bayliss continue to support their branch library, just like they have since it first opened up back in 1917. And it was quite a day I spent in Bayliss, too, sharing in the work, cleaning up the library, and sharing in the food and fellowship as we all sat down to an old-fashioned potluck lunch. A good day where I saw firsthand just how proud the people of this community are of their little library. It's located about 55 miles northeast of Palm Springs, the town of Twentynine Palms, right out in the middle of the Mojave Desert, in an area known as the Morongo Basin. Now this is hot and beautiful country, with big mountains and wide vistas. The town of Twentynine Palms itself is probably best known as the location of the big Marine Corps base and as the headquarters of Joshua Tree National Monument, over 500,000 acres of spectacular national parklands. But our specific destination in Twentynine Palms was across the street from Lucky Park, and we'd been invited there to witness the beginning of a historic event. It all started back in 1927, when the residents of Twentynine Palms decided they needed a schoolhouse, and literally built one themselves with volunteer labor. The building quickly became the center of the community, was added onto over the years, and was used as a school until 1954, when it became an administration building. A few years ago it was abandoned and was going to be torn down until the members of the Twentynine Palms Historical Society found out about it, rose up and said, hey, let's save our old schoolhouse and turn it into a museum. The only problem was, to save this historic old building, it would have to be moved from its original location 2 miles across town to some land owned by the Historical Society. Now, moving a schoolhouse across town is no small task, but undaunted, the Historical Society members took on this project, raised the money, and on this Saturday morning, after years of preparation, it was finally time for the big move.
Now is the excitement building?
We're excited. This is wonderful, wonderful.
Well, now you've been working on this for a long time.
Yes, almost 2 years. But actually, the Historical Society has been in existence for 10 years. And we were given the schoolhouse a little less than 2 years ago, and with 2 years to move it, and we're ahead of schedule.
Well, now we're standing out by the truck. I haven't seen it move yet.
It'll move. It'll move.
It's gonna move.
It will. These people are fantastic, and we've had the support of the city, the townspeople. Everybody you ask is happy with us.
Now
so,
look, we're looking at the old schoolhouse right now. Now it's standing still. How do you feel right now, right before it starts?
may I give a big sigh?
Have you ever moved an old schoolhouse like this before?
Yes, we've moved a lot of them like this. I've been moving buildings for about 45 years, and I've moved a lot of this type of structure in my life, and it's something I enjoy.
Why do you enjoy it so much?
Oh, I guess when you get it there and you look and you see it sitting there and you say, well, it'll be here for another 100 years and I had a part of it. It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
The money's one thing, that you have to have that to survive, but the best part of it is the feeling that you have inside yourself when you walk away.
Now, do we know what's happening with this parade? What's the order of what's going to happen here?
Well, Mr. Proudfoot, retired Colonel Proudfoot, is going to tell the color guard to take off. And the truck is going to go. Our high school band is going to play. We're going over to the site where we have the footings all poured. They'll move it over the footings. We'll have a reception, some speeches, and collapse.
Now, do we have a gun to fire off to start this parade? How are we going to?
I'm waiting for someone to tell me at 9 o'clock it's supposed to go. He said blow the air horn and we're going to go at 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So let's walk over here. We got the Marines here, and right behind them we got the band, and we know we got the school. So let's go.
Let's go.
Now you all are walking along with the schoolhouse.
Yeah, we sure are.
Why'd you decide to do that?
Well, it's one of the biggest events of Twentynine Palms in a long time, and I work at the junior high, today's junior high, as a library technician, and he's a kindergartner at Palm Vista, one of our elementary schools, and it's just kind of a community thing to do.
So you're part of history.
Oh, yeah.
And here's another guy over here who's part of history.
How are you?
Why are you walking?
Why are we walking?
Yeah.
We're most interested in the move this morning and want to be part of this historic moment, and hopefully she'll be remembering some of this and logging some of this in her own memory also.
So you can tell her that someday she was part of history in Twentynine Palms.
Exactly.
What do you think about the walk?
It is cool.
What do you think about it?
Well, I think this is a marvelous deal for Twentynine Palms.
Yeah.
To be able to save an old building like this. I've been here for 31 years and am a teacher here in the district and have been in that building many a times.
Oh, really? So
Yes.
now you're seeing it going down the highway.
Now we're seeing it move to where it's going to be positioned for the future.
What do you think about it?
Oh, it's wonderful. Really history in the making.
Now, did you go to school here?
Not quite.
Well, I didn't mean that ugly. It made it. Well, one hurdle down.
And this, well, the next hurdle will be the last hurdle. It will be setting it up down, I guess about 1,000 yards down. It'll be final resting place for this.
Now, as a former Marine, this is a real good lesson in logistics, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is great, fantastic. These guys, Allied, they did a good job, and it's not completed yet, and they're going to have some trouble in that corner over there, but I think they're going to do it.
Now, how do you feel? Here it comes right now. How do you feel watching that old schoolhouse coming around the bend now?
I think it's wonderful. I'm so happy that this memory remains, and I have dedicated a small amount of money in memory of my husband for the restoration of this old schoolhouse. I'm so happy to be a part of this beautiful event.
Wow.
Thank you.
That building was the first public building in the Morongo Basin, and it's still here. And back in 1934, 35, 36, that was the community building also. That building has all wood, hardwood floors, maple. And that's what they put that in for, because they danced there every Saturday night. They had church there. They had community affairs. That was the hub of the whole valley. And that's why it's so important to get that thing down here and overhaul it and put it back the way it was.
So what you're saying is, when you look at that building, it's a lot more than just a building.
Oh, it's the whole history of this area, Twentynine Palms. They built this with $300, and everybody volunteered the work and built it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this community is taking up where they started or left off in 1927.
So the spirit is still here.
Oh, the spirit, look at the spirit. I think it's all here.
It's modern, it's shiny, it's upscale, and it's oh so she. Welcome to the west side of Los Angeles, specifically to the West Side Pavilion on Pico Boulevard, a huge shopping center filled with all the right stores and all the right people. And right across the street from all this, looking a little overwhelmed by it all, is another place filled with all the right people. A little wooden structure, a restaurant called the Apple Pan. It's been a part of this neighborhood since 1947, long before all this upscale stuff was even around. Now, we arrived just in time for lunch, and the place was packed, lots of activity. All 26 red stools were taken, and we quickly discovered that most of the customers have been coming here for years. These are regulars who come to scarf up the tasty burgers and the homemade apple pie, and most importantly, soak up the friendly atmosphere.
It's the neighborhood place to go. The food is wonderful. The people are nice that work here. I like it here.
When you walked in the first time, 22 years ago, was there something in here that just kind of grabbed at you when you walked in?
it was the down-home atmosphere, the very eclectic crowd, and...
What do you mean the eclectic crowd?
Just a variety of different types of people, businessmen in suits, hippies in dungarees, and some very interesting-looking women.
I can't be caught eating here, no.
We timed it perfectly. Here comes the burger right now. Why can't you be caught eating here?
Because this is not what my nutritionist would order. Hermine Lee, I'm so sorry.
Well, this isn't for you. This is for someone else, right?
It must be yours.
You've been coming here a lot.
About 35 years.
Really?
Since I was a child.
You know, everybody I've talked to today, their parents brought them here when they were kids.
Well, we used to sneak here from school when I went to junior high school.
Really?
And then it was, you're stuck.
Well, you started off sneaking here, and you're still sneaking here.
Uh-huh.
Now, here's a couple from...
Germany, from Heidelberg.
And why are you at the Apple Pan?
Because we wrote in a book, then they said that's the best place to eat hamburgers in the world.
So you read a tour book of L.A. and it said to come to the Apple Pan?
Yes. They said come to the Apple Pan and you can eat the best hamburger and the greatest apple pan pie in the world.
Now, what do you think about it? You've had both.
Great. It's great. Really love it, yes.
Now, what is the story here behind the ketchup in the plate?
Well, I've been coming here for quite some time, and I've developed my own routine where in lieu of ketchup, I always ask them for some hickory sauce.
Oh, so this isn't ketchup?
No, this is their secret hickory sauce that they've developed over the years that they use with their hickory burgers.
And you put the French fries in the hickory sauce?
It's a touch of class. Can't beat it.
It's an institution for life.
So you're glad it's here?
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's the best.
Well, I could stand here and talk to you all day, but you've got some work ahead of you.
Hey, thank you. I sure do.
Go for it.
I'll get to it.
There he goes. Look at that thing. Now wait a minute. Look at this.
It's a gastronomic delight.
You should be wearing a bib.
I think I will. I think I will.
Do you have a lot of the same customers every single day?
They come every single day. Sometimes they come twice a day.
Twice a day?
Yeah, some of them come twice a day.
Now, what do they have here twice a day?
Hamburgers or tuna sandwich, the most popular. Yeah.
Do you know what they want when they walk in the door?
Most of them, I know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring the order in ahead of time, but by the time they see it, they have the order ready.
Really?
Yeah.
So as soon as they walk through the door and come over here to sit down, you know to order exactly what they want?
Some of them. I mean, most of them. I would say most of them. Not everybody, but most of them.
Mm-hmm. Is it a pretty friendly bunch of people here?
They're all friendly.
Mm-hmm.
They're all friendly.
We enjoy working with people. It's not like a coffee shop where the waitress might be mad and she won't give you coffee. Here we give them coffee all the time. We give them everything they want. We enjoy waiting on these people.
You never get mad?
Sometimes I go back and take a deep breath and come back. And tell them, yes, ma'am.
Now we're back in the control center right now of the Apple Pan. This is where it all happens, right, Charlie?
That's right. Starts right here.
Now, you've been here longer than anybody else working here today.
That's right.
How many years?
36 years.
36 years.
36, first part of January.
Now, your job is to make the burgers.
That's right, yeah.
Have you been making the burgers exactly the same way for 36 years?
Exactly the same way. The same way they started out in 47.
You've never even thought about changing anything about it?
Never changed. Never thought about it.
Well, what's the secret?
They would never change. Well, it works so well, so they figured there's no reason to try to make it better.
Well, but now, let me play devil's advocate and say a hamburger is a hamburger is a hamburger. Tell me what's so special about your hamburger.
Not at the Apple Pan. We put quality meat in it, and everything is freshly made every day, and it makes a difference.
Now, I keep hearing about these hickory burgers. Okay, now what is that you're putting on there?
That's relish. Relish goes on the steak, and the hickory burger gets, they call it a barbecue sauce.
Uh-huh.
Smoked flavor sauce goes
Is that a secret there?
That's a secret sauce we put on it.
Well, I'm not even going to ask you what's in it. And there they go. And then part of it now is wrapping it in these...
That's right. We wrap it and put it in this sandwich bag.
So that's it right there.
That's it.
How many of these things you figure you've wrapped over the last 36 years?
Oh, I would imagine probably a couple of million.
Now, the Apple Pan not only has longtime employees and loyal customers, it also has been owned and operated by the same family since it first opened its doors in 1947. In fact, the day we dropped by, 3 generations of that family were there to greet us. Now, did you start working here as a child?
Yeah, Mother and I were the first 2 waitresses here.
The only waitresses?
Yeah, the only ones. We were terrible, I know.
And you were brought in when?
Well, I did it when I was a teenager to make a little money.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, my grandfather wanted me to learn and teach me the pies. And
so you know all the family secrets now about this place, all the secret ingredients and all of that.
Yeah, a few of those, yeah.
Well, I just can't figure out how they could keep this piece of land across in West LA. I mean, this is probably the most valuable land in West LA, yet this building that only holds maybe 25 people has been here for years and years.
We love our little apple pan, and we haven't even been slightly tempted.
Well, but the rumors going around, you hear rumors from time to time that the place is for sale, that you're going to sell out.
Yeah, those rumors circulate all the time, but we've really never even considered it.
Really?
Yeah.
The money never entered into it at all?
Well, it's not that we're that rich, but, you know, we really like our place. And the men who work here, they've worked for us for a long time. Our customers have become kind of old friends, and I can't think of anything worse than not having this place, really.
Well, I think we've all discovered that old buildings are much more than just old buildings with plaques out in front of them. In fact, these neat old buildings represent not only history, but the fabric and the texture of the communities in which they're located. And let's hope places like the Apple Pan stay around for a long time. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you for coming with us on this journey and invite you to join us again next time as we continue our search together for California's gold. The best, the best.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727 and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.